Welcome students. This is lecture number 2 for the unit 5, 4th sem students for pharmacognosy and phytochemistry 1. As we have discussed about the importance of this unit, in lecture 1 we have seen the fibers, only 3, and now we are going to see about the hallucinogens, only 2, tobacco and the cannabis, teratogens, in which 2, colocynth and Veratrum. So when you want to know about hallucinogen, you should know about hallucinogen and hallucination. What do you mean by this? What is its connection with the sedatives, hypnotics, and you have studied about the narcotic drugs. Hallucination means actually are a class of drugs or compounds that cause profound distortions in a person's perceptions. It's a false actually, as if of reality, otherwise known as hallucinations, while under the influence of hallucinogens like tobacco, like many other morphine, pyridine, which is obtained from opium, even alcohol, users might see an image, hear sounds, or feel some sensations that it seems a real, but it is not. A well-being feeling, but it is not the right one. It's an imaginary feeling due to the drugs which is called hallucinogens. So I hope the student can easily understand what I mean about the hallucination. Tobacco is an example. Synonym when you want to tobacco, Tabaci, Folia, biological or botanical source. It consists of dried leaf of Nicotiana, tobaccum, belonging to the family Solanaceae. This is the leaf which is having a temperate climate in tropical region, especially in Tamil Nadu. You can see in Dindikkal area, they are cultivated more, and it is used for chewing, and it is exported, and it is for manufacturing cigarettes and many other, even drugs. It is having drug effect, the isolated nicotine. Characteristics of the plant, you can see the plant leaf, large one, even it will be folded and fermented in the leaflet itself, like this. There are cigaras available only tobacco wounded leaves, dried leaves. Color is green or slightly brown. Odor characteristic to nicotine. Taste is bitter. Shape is ovate, elliptic or lanceolate, 60 to 80 centimeter in length and 35 to 45 centimeter in width. Chemical constituents. The most common constituents is the alkaloids nicotine, nicotinine, nicotinine, nicotine, nicotiline. These all are just changes with the alkaloidal linkages, substituents of the nicotine. After the leaves are smoked, the nicotine decomposes into pyridine. You know the structure of pyridine, the nitrogen containing 6-member ring structure, heterocyclic ring structure, which is the basic structure of the nicotine. When you see the structure, pyridine with an pyrrolidine with CH3, nicotinic acid group, when it is attached nicotinic acid and nicotine, the structure we can see. After leaves are smoked, the nicotine decomposes into pyridine. For fural, because of the 5-member ring structure, choline, hydrocyanic acid, and carbon monoxide. That's why the passive smoker will be more affected than the active person who smokes. The poisonous effect of tobacco smoke are due to these substances of decomposed nicotine. When nicotine is burnt and when it is smoked, when it is decomposed or when it is converted by means of smoking, it converts even to carbon monoxide, which is very dangerous for the passive smokers nearby standing. Uses, it has many medicinal uses. Nicotine is very like quinine and lobeline in its pharmacological action, and the pyridines in the smoke modified very slightly in its action. It is used as a sedative, diuretic, expectorant, discoluent, and silagogue you can say. What is this? Discoluent means causing dispersal or disappearance of a pathological accumulation. Even maybe a salivary can be split out and maybe discarded. It feels to expectorant outside, expel outside of a pathological accumulation of infected substances can be expelled from the body. And silagogue means an agent that promotes the flow of saliva. It promotes the expelling of the unwanted substance. The leaf is combination with the leaves of belladonna. When you are giving with combination of nicotine leaf with belladonna or stramonium, it makes an excellent application for obstinate ulcers, painful tremors, and spasmodic affections. The pain, abdominal pain, lower abdominal pain, spasmodic, can also be treated with this. Along with, that means belladonna contain atropine, tropane alkaloids and nicotine alkaloids together, they can have an effect towards spasmodic affections. Tobacco leaves are made wet and applied for piles. Externally, nicotine is an antiseptic. Nicotine exerts stimulant effects on heart and nervous system. Cannabis, next example for you, cannabis for hallucinogen. It is an Indian hemp which we have already seen the fibers which is prepared from their stem part, and you can see here the leaf and the resins are used for hallucinogen. It contains cannabinol, tetrahydrocannabinol, which is having more sedative effect, hypnotic effect, and it has many preparations are made in which they are used for many purposes for sedation and to have an hallucination. But actually it is narcotic and it causes addiction. It's not used and it cannot be grown without a permission of the government. Synonym: Indian hemp, Indian cannabis, hashish, bong, ganja, charas, cannabis indica, marijuana. You see, this is the marijuana which is bald. And you can see biological source. Cannabis consists of dried flowering tops of the pistillate plants of Cannabis sativa lin, belonging to the family Cannabinaceae. Cannabis products. The following products are prepared from cannabis. Ganja. It consists of up to 10% of its fruits, large foliage, leaves and stems over 3 centimeter. This is the flowers which is dried. It is known as flat or Bombay ganja when 30 centimeter long. Pieces of herbs are made into bundles and pressed. Round or Bengal ganja is prepared by rolling the wilted tops between the hands. This is Bengal ganja. Ganja is legally produced only by a few licensed growers in Bengal and South India, Southern India. The seeds are sown in row about 1.3 meter apart and male plants are discarded. The resinous tops of the unfertilized plant are cut about 5 months after sown and pressed into cakes. The yield is nearly 120 kilogram per acre. Bong and or hashish, you can say bong or hashish, is a drink actually. It consists of larger leaves and twigs of both male and female plants as shown in the picture. It's a drink and sometimes it is smoked with or without tobacco also. It is unfit for medicinal use owing to deficiency of resin. It is also taken in the form of an liquid, that is electuary, or a drink made by digestion with melted butter. Like this, it is also taken as a drink. Charas It is a crude resin. You can see in the hand, it is a crude resin which is obtained from the cannabis sativa. It is a crude resin obtained by rubbing the tops between the hands and beating them on the pieces of a cloth. It is an inferior product. It may be collected by beating the flower tops in coarse cotton cloths spread on the ground. A greenish brown soft mass adheres and, as shown in the paper, adheres may be purified by pressing it through the cloths. The resin is scraped off. It is mixed with many smoking mixtures. You can see that round shining roll which is made, and this type of also have for making into smoke, and even the powders can be used in the paper aluminium foil for inhaling. Chemical constituents. Cannabis consists of 15 to 20% of resin. The resins are amorphous, semi-solid, brown colored, soluble in ether, alcohol, and carbon disulfide. The most important active constituents present in cannabis are cannabidiol, cannabidiolic acid, cannabinol, cannabichromine, and trans-tetrahydrocannabinol. Cannabis also contains cannabidiolic acid, cannabidiol anion, tetrahydrocannabinol, cannabinol anion, and tetrahydrocannabinol THC, which is a very important constituent which gives the sedation and hypnotic effect, and that's why it is called a narcotic analgesic. Volatile oil is also present in the plant. Trigonelline and choline is also present. A structure can be easily written very clearly. Once you practice, it is possible for you to write the chemical structure. It's very important whenever you are writing about constituents of any compounds in pharmacognosy, or even in any chemistry subject. A pharmacy student have to write the structure very clearly, the basic chemistry. You see here, tetrahydrocannabinol, it has a lactone ring with tetrahydro means hydrogen is present in the ring, the first ring, which is having only one double bond, and the two double bonds are not present due to the presence of hydrogen atom in the carbon. When it is removal of hydrogen, oxidized, the tetrahydrocannabinol can be converted into cannabinol. So the tetrahydro, when you remove, two double bonds are incorporated in the structure of tetrahydrocannabinol. And when you come to cannabinodiol, this chain, the cycle chain or the lactone ring opens and you become an OH. So that is why it is having two OH group. That is why it is called diol. D-I-O-L, diol. From the tetrahydrocannabinol, cannabinodiol. So cannabinol, cannabinodiol, you can easily make the structure and get the full mark when you write about constituents about cannabis or hemp. Uses. Cannabis resin is tonic, sedative, analgesic, intoxicant, stomachic, antispasmodic, anti-anxiety, anti-convulsant, antitussive, and narcotic. You see, I told from the beginning, when there is a term of pharmacology terms, it is necessary for the students to refer the definitions and know it very clearly. The understanding is very important. You should know about what is sedative, what is analgesic, what is intoxicant, what do you mean by stomachic, what do you mean by antispasmodic, what do you mean by anti-anxiety, anti-convulsant, antitussive, and narcotic. Cannabis causes only psychic dependence and acts upon the nervous system. So you are getting addicted. As you studied addiction, tolerance in general pharmacology, it is needed for you to know about what is the difference between addiction, tolerance, psychic addiction, due to tolerance addiction. The difference you should study. Crude drugs causing teratogenicity. The questions have been repeatedly asked. So you should know what is teratogenicity, what is teratogens. We are keeping only 2 examples in the teratogens. Colchicum is taken as an example. Teratogen, what do you mean by teratogen? Teratogen is an agent that can disturb the development of embryo or fetus. It is directly attacking the fertilization. It can affect male and female. So, and even see, mainly in female, it can disturb the development of embryo or fetus. Teratogens halt the pregnancy or produce a congenital malformation, a birth defect. They are called as teratogens. Classes of teratogens include radiation, may cause, maternal infections, chemicals, drugs and herbal drugs, synthetic drugs and as well as herbal drugs. All of them cause teratogenic activity. Teratology means, description of teratology is the study of abnormalities of physiological developments. It is often thought of as a study of human congenital abnormalities, birth abnormalities, fetus abnormalities, congenital in the development of baby itself. But it is broader than that, taking into account other non-birth developmental stages, including puberty. It can affect even including puberty also. After the birth, congenital problem, congenital deformities, which can produce in the babies, in the development of the adulterants, puberty may be affected, and other organisms. It can be seen in the including plants. Colchicum is one example which we have taken. Synonym: autumn crocus, sigdum, colchigo, meadow saffron, naked boys, European colchicum seed. 2 views of the seed have been shown in the picture. You can see the horizontal position and the vertical position, the hilum, the sharpened place or the cone portion. This is the plant flower from the rhizome developed from the seed, as shown in the picture, colchicum. Biological source: colchicum consists of dried ripe seeds and corns of Colchicum autumnale lin. Colchicum autumnale lin is a scientist name, belonging to the family Liliaceae. Characteristics: seeds are 2 to 3 millimeter in diameter, globulous or globular, smooth. Outer surface is dark reddish brown, pitted, very hard. Endosperm is large, hard and oily. It is odorless, bitter and acrid in taste. See the length of the bulb and as well as the hairy roots. This is the seeds, as we told, 2 to 3 millimeter. When you see the scale which is shown, the division in millimeter. The corns or roots is usually sold in transverse slices, notched on one side and somewhat reniform in outline. White and starchy, internally about 1/8 inch thick and varying from 3/4 to 1 inch in diameter. Taste sweetish, then bitter and acrid, and odor radish-like in fresh root, but lost in drying. Chemical constituents: the active principle is said to be an alkaline substance of the very poisonous nature called colchicine. Besides colchicine, dimicolcine and other alkaloids are present. They also contain resins called colchicoracin, fixed oil, glucose and starch. You see the structure of colchicine. You can write very clearly a 6-membered ring with 3 methoxy group, OCH3, and 2 7-membered ring structure. As we have seen in medicinal chemistry, when you study about benzodiazepines, here also we can see that 7-membered ring structure with nitrogen. And nitrogen is in an amide form, methyl amide. And in the another 7-membered ring structure, you can see their methoxy group with 1 quinone, double bond O. So colchicine structure, once you practice, it is possible for you to write a 6-membered ring with methoxy, 3 methoxy group, and a 7-membered ring structure attached which is with an methamide, and another 7-membered ring with an ketone, that means quinone, or you cannot say quinone because it's 7-membered, so one keto group and an methoxy group. Uses of colchicine: both the corn and the seeds are analgesic, anti-rheumatic, cathartic, remove, expels the complete GI, purgative, purgative, you can say cathartic, emetic. They are used mainly in the treatment of gout and rheumatic complaints, usually accompanied with an alkaline diuretic. It can be used for all medicinal purpose, but it is an teratogenic. It can be used for leukemia, has been successfully treated with autumn corcus, that is colchicum, and the plant has also been used with some success in the treatment of Behçet's syndrome, a chronic disease making recurring ulcer and leukemia. That is Bechet's syndrome, which causes ulcers in the leukemia, with leukemia. Dangerous cancer. A very toxic plant. It should not be prescribed for pregnant women or patients with kidney disease, and should not be used under the it should be used only under the supervision of qualified practitioner. You know that it's dangerous, but it is highly used for leukemia with recurring ulcers for Bechet syndromes, but it has to be used very carefully. Colchicine passes through the placenta in humans, and it is teratogenic. Deformity can happen in the placenta, affect the babies. Congenital problems will occur. So that is teratogenic in animals and raises rate of male and female infertility. Now the second one which is taken for our study is Veratrum. Veratrum, you can see the root, rhizome and the bulb which is shown in the underground of this plant. The leaves are like this, which we can see in our place also, very rarely. It's an American hellebone, green hellebone, American Veratrum, Indian poke. It is also available here, Indian poke. It can be called in synonym. Biological source, Veratrum consists of dried roots of rhizomes of the perennial herbs. Veratrum viride, Iton is the scientist name. Veratrum viride is the botanical name. Veratrum viride is the species name. And Veratrum album, which is in India, belonging to the family Liliaceae. Characteristic of this plant, the entire rhizome is conical, 3 to 8 centimeter long and 2 to 3.5 centimeter wide, externally brownish grey. The roots are numerous and, as shown in the picture, previous slide, almost completely covered the rhizome. The entire roots are up to 8 centimeter long and 4 millimeter in diameter, light brown to light orange in color, and usually much wrinkled, odorless, taste bitter and acrid. It has a taste of bitter and acrid. This is the root diagram and the plant. Chemical constituents of Veratrum. Various steroidal alkaloids have been isolated in Veratrums. The important alkaloids are geruvin, pseudogeruvin, rubigeruvin, civadin, germitrin, germidin, veratilibin, veratrodidin, neogermitrin, neoprotoveratin and protoveratinin A and B and veratidin. So once you read and study, it is possible for you to write the constituents present in veratidin. Pseudogeruvin and veratocin are glycosides. Pseudogeruvin and veratocin are glycosides of alkamines. They have alkyl group with amines. Germine and geruvin, rubigeruvin and veratamine are alkamines, separate. So you can see the structure of protoveratamine A No complicated structure. You can just see and write once, you will get an easy idea. It's a steroidal structure with 3 6-membered ring structure, and here 2 6-membered with a 5-membered ring structure. And you can have all the linkage like O, C, O, O, CH3, CH3. That means all of them are ester linkage. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 ester linkages compound, and then OH groups can be attached with an annular methyl groups. This is protoveratin B. A and B are having only a change in their isomerism. Jeruvin is completely removed, all the esteric linkage or the glycoside linkage is not present there. Uses of this Veratrum. Veratrum is used in as an antihypertensive, cardiac depressant, sedative, and insecticides. It is also used for relieving or relief in irritation of the nervous system, in convulsions, mania, in psychological feeling of mania, neuralgia, headache, fatigue actually, and also febrile and inflammatory affections of the respiratory organs, and acute tonsils or tonsillitis. The rhizomes are also used for insecticidal purposes in the form of sprays and in dusts. The alkaloids, especially protoveratinins A and B, are effective in reducing blood pressure. That's why they are used as an antihypertensive agents. So which is the constituent responsible from Veratrum are proveratrin A and B are the effective for reducing blood pressure. American Veratrum is used in the preparation of Veratroid, a mixture of hypotensive, reducing BP alkaloids, hypotensive alkaloids. European Veratrum is used in the preparation of proveratrins. The drug is used as an insecticide. So you should remember they have teratogen effect, but they have other uses also. Veratrum californicum, commonly known as false hellebore, containing teratogenic alkaloid, that is cyclopamine, that is responsible for number of congenital defects in the babies, in lambs, depending on the stages of gestation which they are consumed. We are talking about animal study, not in human study, but they are teratogen. Thank you for this short class. Next we will continue for this unit, lecture number 3. Thank you. Again, I am advising you, listen to the class regularly. Make your attendance regular. Attend to the institutional offline classes directly. Clear your doubts with your teachers. Discipline is very important. Obeying the instructions. You cannot fail. You will not fail. You will succeed in your academic. Success in academic depends upon your discipline and as well as your curiosity. How I want to study, to know about the unknown things and to utilize the teachers. Teachers are not only an informative center or information. We are guides which can support you. Thank you. Try to write your notes and submit to my office. Thank you.